have to explain that this sourdough bread dough is nothing but flour and water. I've had this start for 60 years, I guess. I just never let it die, and I think that all you have to do is put a little flour and water together and mix a little yeast with it and baby it along for a week or two and pour it out when it gets too bad and start over to make your sourdough. But if you have a start, then there's no problem. The crock jar, it seems to be better than any other thing. It somehow lets it breathe a little bit, they tell me. And so after you get your starch, you just mix a little flour and water in there, stir it up and let it stay for about 4, 5, 6 hours, and then it rises and it gets so high it falls back down. But any time within 12 hours it makes good bread. And so we just pour it into the pan here with a little flour in the bottom like such, and scrape it out like this. Then we take a little bit of soda, just sprinkle it lightly. Depends on how sour the dough is, how much soda it needs, but if you get too much soda it makes it brown. Maybe a little baking powder like such.
So the more sour the dough, the more soda you need?
That's right. If your dough is sour, real sour, then you need a little more soda. But you don't have to have much soda, and you salt it generously. And then this is the action here. Turn the pan with your left hand and turn it over like that with your right hand. And the old butcher knife.
You have to have that same butcher knife or it doesn't work, don't you?
That's right, it's the same old butcher knife. You can't cut hot butter with it, but it's good for a dough puncher. When it gets to a point where you can handle it with your fingers, you get into it like this, and you scoop down into there where the flour is and push that down. If you're not careful, you get flour all off your fingers, then you have to take time off to wash. But if and you do it like such, then it just comes out just beautifully.
Yes, if you've practiced a long time, it does.
And then you flop it over like that. Get your baking tin, or drip or whatever, which I have added a little bacon grease to. Warmed it up. Then you squeeze it off like that. Put it in the pan like such. Anybody can make any kind of bread, can make sourdough bread, because it's just no problem whatever. It's just a matter of learning how to do it so the dough won't stick to your hands too badly.
No problem at all if you learn how to do it.
That's true. Sit down.
Let's see, that has to be punched again a little bit so we can get it out.
Is this the last one?
That's the last biscuit. Last gasp. Then we tuck that in there, and if there's any extra, we put it back in the dough jar and mix it up with the next mixing, and then...
Hold that up so we can see your biscuits in there. Okay, great.
It looks something like
Just follow
that.
him over so they go get in the oven.
Now you don't have to let them rise.
You don't have to let them rise, you just put them straight in the oven, which you have heated to 450 or 500 degrees, and put them in until they get just, well, it depends. You can say a golden brown, but I like mine done a little harder. The crust is better then, and they don't soften up. Sometimes they get kind of raggy if they're not really well baked. So we put this in the oven like such. We already have a handful in there. About soda mixed in very well, a little spotted on top. The dough has to be, when you mix it in here, it has to be just the right consistency so you can mix it quite a little while. But still, if you get it too thin, then you have to mix too long and it goes floury. But anyhow, we put these back in and let them finish doing it. Hope they're good.
I'm sure they will be.
Karen's.
Tell us. Tell us a little bit about. Well, we'll let you wash your hands first
Yeah,
here.
I better wash my hands. I've accumulated a little dough on them. And that is one of the secrets to be able to handle that dough without getting all of your hands.
So you never have to wash your hands if you're real good.
Of course, us as a sheep herd, all we do is rub them off the flour, off the sheep wagon door, go to it again.
Tell us a little bit about when you let your dough get too old and you haven't tended it for a while. What can you do for it?
Well, if your dough gets too old, it'll go thin, kind of sour. I told somebody once that sourdough is just, you let it go so long, it smells good, but it smells like it's rotten. Not quite that bad,
Gets watery on top.
but it gets watery on top, and then the best thing to do is pour most of it out and start over. Put a cup or two of flour, enough water to make it the right consistency, then you can.
Then you have to, but you have to keep doing that for a while until you really get it.
Well, if it goes too bad, you might have to throw out the dough 2 or 3 times. If it goes like, say, for a month or two without being used and it gets yellow and watery on top, then you might have to get it in the proper condition or proper consistency, then you might have to throw it out a couple of times and just mix it up. You can tell when it starts coming up and bubbling up as it comes.
It's better.
And rising. Anybody that knows about yeast bread can tell that when the dough's about right, it's elastic and still light. Then it ought to make good bread.
All right. Well, all right. Stay tuned for another edition of the Galloping Sheep Herder. We'll see you later.
Okay. Bless you. I forgot to explain the last step. Now you can either use fresh flour to replenish your dough, or you can get some out of the pan here and replenish that when you need it.
Will that have a little salt and soda in it?
It'll have just a little salt and soda in, but it still works fine. Put a little flour in there like so, and then a little water like that. Then you take the old butcher knife and you scrape down the sides like that. Then all you have to do is just mix it up. If it hasn't had enough water, add a little more like so. And still had enough water, so we'll get some more.
You better not show this to KSL or they'll want to have you on.
That's right.
Regularly. Of course, how many times do you make sourdough?
So what kind of consistency then you want? Just sort of,
I'll try
maybe you
and-
should pull it out with a spoon in a minute. Let
I'll
us see.
try and show you when I get about right. Ow. If you're not careful, you get dough all over your face. Thanks. But if you could see,
Wait. Okay,
what that is.
Pull it out
that's
again.
what-
Put it a little higher.
that's good. All right.
Okay. Then all you have to do is put the lid on, clean this pot down once in a while.
How long's it been since you cleaned your pot?
Well, I don't know.
As a sheep herder, you clean it about once a summer.
I think when it gets so bad you can't stand it, then you have to clean it.
All right.
Tell them about the rag you wrap it in, because you heard.
In the sheep herd, we used to have a dish towel And we put the dish towel in a pan like so, and we put the bread in there and then cover up the dish towel. And that dish towel would get so greasy now after a few months that you could hardly bend it. But I didn't like that because it tended to soften the bread up, and I like it crusty.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like to put. I like to keep it in the oven till you get it all used up. Keep it good and warm, and then this crust stays crusty. And I like to use either honey, butter and honey, or butter and jam, of one kind or another. The more honey or the more jam you use, the better it tastes because it kills the taste of the sourdough.
That's not my idea. I don't like anything on it. I like to be able to taste the bread.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks. So,
Don't sign off, because we'll be getting
all right. Now what?
You ought to wipe that table off, Danny, before you